Okay, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And Margaret, you last night was the first night you came, right? You've been before. I can't hear you. Okay. All right. I don't know if there was someone here that came was the first time. Anyway, they're not here tonight. All right. Okay. So let's just settle. If you are sitting at your desk, have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and your shoulders aligned with your hips, ears aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine as this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine your spine is lengthening. Have your head in a neutral position, not tipped too far back or too far forward. And then go to the crown of your head and just release any tension there. And in your face, your jaw, your temples, the ear, the inner ear, the back of the head, around the occipital bone, the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax your throat and chest and belly and all of your limbs. Be aware of the breath sensations. Maybe you feel the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. The rising and the falling of the belly. Or you might notice the diaphragm dropping as you inhale, rising up as you exhale. And remember, your breath is not just the chest, it's a 360-degree inhalation and exhalation of the lungs, like little balloons. Be aware of sound in your environment, just allowing the sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with the mind. Try not to run off and investigate. And then just notice what's going on in the mind this evening. And we move into 2025. So for some of you, it's just another day. For other people, it has huge significance. For some people, they'll be having this idea of creating an intention. For other people, it will be an idea of trying to make some changes. It's almost like we feel like we have a refresh somehow. And some people who thought they were going to be celebrating 2025 somehow didn't make it to the end of the year. So remember, however it is you're turning up this evening is just fine. You can only ever be where you're at right now. So no judgment, no criticism of yourself, just complete acceptance of where you're at. Knowing that whatever's going on right now will change. And bring to mind all the people of your life. So your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like. And they're all interchangeable, these relationships, due to this impermanent world in which we live. And all these people are equal. They're just like you and me. They all have this extraordinary wish to be happy. to be free from suffering and have this unbelievable potential. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So regret is not guilt. Regret's a really wholesome attitude. It's, I just was listening to Venerable Rabina. It's about having compassion for yourself. So you regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. You could think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And the reason we're regretting is based on karma. Because we experience everything due to our past actions, our past karma. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we don't want any more future suffering. So logically, it makes sense that we'll pull these karmic seeds out before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So here we turn to the Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to kind of heal ourselves. So it's not that we're needing Vajrasattva to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed, this represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this is the second part of reliance. So first one was refuge. We've just done that. And this is developing compassion. So really, this whole idea of regret is actually an act of self-compassion. Gosh, I did this thing. What can I do about it? I regret eating poison because now I'm going to be sick. It's that kind of thing. I regret going to that party where I knew 50% of the people had COVID. Now I'm going to get it. It's that kind of level of, oh God. And you have compassion for yourself. So here, compassion for yourself is also wishing for yourself to be free from suffering. So here we're also wishing for others to be free from suffering. So think of people you've harmed. And then think of the people who've harmed you. And we really want to have compassion for these people because the harm they've caused us is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. We start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supukaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda meboa, Sutukaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mipiyatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Juda meboa, Sutukaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows quite forcefully and disappears into space, not one atom left. So, as Lama Yeshe would say, you just imagine you're filling a dirty glass of like milk or yogurt up to sort of rinse it out, and all the bits float to the surface. So it's a kind of a little bit like that. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Judah Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi, Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapta Dina Patita, Judah Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi. So now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to harm others with your speech, only to benefit them, and that includes yourself. And next we purify our mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, this is a common analogy in the Tibetan community, and Lama Yeshe used to talk about it. You walk into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same, you think of it in the same way. When the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments, neediness, your bitterness and grudges and depression, anxiety, disappointments, all your anger, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpi Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And imagine there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you can imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar again. So it fills you completely. So one of the things that Venerable Rabina teaches when she does this meditation. So you imagine it's kind of busy, but you imagine all the three things happening at once. The nectar purifying the body, the nectar purifying the speech, so that's coming down, the speech one's coming up, and then the light coming again and just blasting you with this amazing light. So it's kind of busy, but what you're doing is you're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness as you do this. Just like one more scrub of the bath in a way. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So we've got to make a decision. Otherwise, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. So we just decide, something simple. We don't lie to ourselves about what we can manage. So don't make it like a New Year's resolution. I'm never going to do this again. You can make it like a daily resolution. I'm going to think about not being angry for 5 minutes. And when this person says this to me, which I know triggers me, I'm not going to react. I'm going to deal with it differently. So we just keep it really simple. So this determination to kind of work on our mind in this way, it gives us kind of some strength. It gives us a little project, become our own project, our own therapist. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So we think, in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment, the sake of sentient beings, as quickly as possible. So let's just do our 3 verses of chanting the names of Manjushri. The highest nature of all entities, supportive of the nature of all things, with goals for all, with dharmas unarisen, supportive of the nature of all dharmas, with full awareness of phenomena, in but an instant as the wisest sage, with vivid realization of all dharmas, he is a sage, the greatest intellect, the vanquisher of hosts of evil spirits, unwavering, completely pure in nature, grasping the wakefulness of perfect Buddhas, the direct realization of all Buddhas. He is the flame of wisdom, luminous. Okay, everybody. Happy New Year. Lots of love. I will see you next year, tomorrow night. It's such an old joke. I don't know. Anyway, see you in 2025. Okay, everybody. Good night. If you're driving anywhere this evening, please drive carefully. There's probably going to be a lot of people out there on the road who are not in the same state as you. And don't fly. Oh, my Judah's saying don't fly anywhere. This is crazy. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Do take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Happy New Year.